Hey, also, this is my Merit of Medicine review, late as always. If you're looking for the Beverly Hills review, I'm going to combine the episodes again. This week was a little hectic for me socially, so I didn't get a chance to get to it, but yes, this week, on time, y'all will get it. I apologize. So let's get into this episode. So last week it left off on a cliffhanger, with Heavenly saying, "Bitch, I got an Uber card." They're like fussing on Lisa's huge RV and they're going back and forth. So we have Heavenly shouting, we have Contessa telling her, we're in the middle of rural Georgia. We have Quiet talking to her too, yeah, I'll get off with you. People are laughing in the background at this. Toya's face, just says it all. Like, just looking at them like, are they for real? Now we got Lisa bringing up Dr. Heavenly's ratings on the internet, saying she got 2 stars. To which we then get to Quad's confessional as she looks up Dr. Heavenly's rating, and it's actually 3.9. Oh man, they're starting out silly. I love it. It's crazy because they're not even at the destination yet, but this RV scene really reminds me of Real Housewives of Atlanta when Kim and Nene got into it on the bus. This is not Sweetie, okay? You remember that scene? It reminds me of that. So unfortunately, they didn't let Heavenly off in the middle of nowhere. I would have preferred that. But they separate the two, and Lisa goes to the back of the RV while Heavenly stays in the front. Wait a minute. So the RV's out of gas. The driver doesn't go outside and pump it, and Lisa is making the rest of them pay for gas? Wow. Like, let's all just chip in for gas. Really? This is supposed to all be paid and accounted for. They really got Dr. Jackie in the middle of the night about to pump gas in an RV by herself. And Dr. Jackie's trying to find the gas tank. This is hilarious. Oh, production is on a roll. So now they're fast forwarding as time is going by. It looks like maybe 20 minutes going by before Jackie finally figured it out. Like, for real, there's been 3 special effects done by production in the first 4 minutes. Ooh, child, so time is passing by. It looks like they have 4 more hours. Like, they're literally doing nothing. Well, they finally get to Jekyll Island, the resort. It looks pretty nice. I read the comments in the last episode. Apparently, a lot of you know Jekyll Island. I'm sorry, I never heard of it. I'm just a southern boy from New Orleans. I'm sorry. Wait a minute, so they splitting gas and they sharing rooms too? Like, what is this? Like, I definitely would want my own room. So we're with Jackie and Heavenly, and Jackie is telling her conversation that she had with Toya about Dr. Heavenly's behavior and how Heavenly supposedly always goes after Toya. Of course, Heavenly is like, well, Toya just gets to say whatever she wants and expects no response. That's fair. But Dr. Heavenly be coming for everybody in those confessionals. She be shady and mean. Not even the polite shade, just real mean shit. It really looks like there's nothing to do on this island. So we see Toya on FaceTime with Eugene, and she's telling her she didn't come to this trip to argue. And in her confessional, she's like, she's just tired of the petty bullshit. And I'm like, do you know what show you're on? So we see Dr. Heavenly rolling up as Toya's on the phone. So then she comes and says hi. She's really polite. She says Toya is beautiful. Let's see if it stays that way. Wow, Toya knew Heavenly for 13 years? Damn. And then we get a little flashback and ooh, Dr. Heavenly does not look like that anymore. Yikes. But I'm just kidding. Dr. Heavenly is beautiful in her own right. And then it's the inside where she's ugly. Toya is telling Heavenly that it just hurts her feelings how Heavenly continuously comes after their finances, and considering that she knew how they came up and was just starting in Atlanta, she looked up to them. So it hurts her feelings that Heavenly is coming for her as like a joke. So Toya finally gets an apology out of Heavenly. Heavenly says sorry, and if she says anything that bothers her, please feel free to let her know. Keep communication open between them. Yada, 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 until the next fight. So next scene we're with Jackie, Contessa, and Quad. They're just walking around the property. Jekyll Island is beautiful, but again, there seems like there's nothing to do. So Contessa then tells them what happened between her and Scott and how she found out that he's seeing a life coach, this woman who he isn't paying, but he's talking to, and he's talked to her for 7 to 8 months. And of course, Dr. Jackie and Quiet is like, oh, hell no. Yeah, is he cheating or is he not? It's very confusing. Okay, so she doesn't think he's cheating, but she does think it's an inappropriate relationship with another woman. So Jackie and Quiet is trying to give her the best advice she can, being that they both were in similar situations. You know, Quiet got a divorce, Jackie decided to stay, and Contessa's just like, she just wants to put her head in the sand. Now, I really want to believe this is a legit plot line, but for some reason, I'm just thinking, she's just putting this on for the cameras. Like, oh, let's just fight so we can stay on the show. I don't know why, it's just a certain part of her story that just doesn't add up to me. Lord, now Contessa saying she heard from her own kids that her daughter said, Daddy has a girlfriend. Now, at that point, like, how come you don't nip this situation in the bud, but you're just discussing it with other people? And again, she's been doing this all season. She will tell her marriage problems to anybody who will listen. I mean, at this point, like, you know all this information. Either you do something about it or don't. Okay, so next scene, all the ladies are just gathering around for cocktails to talk. So at first the conversation starts about the election, and then we get to jail and who's been to jail. And Toya tells us she's been to jail before for stealing a little thing of Wet n Wild lipstick. They really bring you to jail for that? Ooh, child, this is a nothing-ass episode. I mean, they're just having random conversations. I don't want to hear about Dr. Heavenly masturbating. I really don't. I don't. Like, what is the activity? Are they going to be jet skiing, exploring the island, some hang gliding, something? So now the ladies are discussing around the circle, if they die, who would they pick for their man? I kid you not, this is the conversation they're having. So Anila finally arrives to join the ladies. Now everyone is excited to see Anila except for Toya, the one who brought her on the show. Like I said, Toya has brought on, I think, maybe 3 friends on this show, and they always fall out with her, so it leads me to believe that Toya is a common denominator, and is just a shitty friend. So the reason why Anila was late is because she took a COVID test and the results were inconclusive, so she had to go back and take another one just to make sure. All right, and it's later in the evening. We see another shot of this boring island. I'm sorry, y'all, so far, this island looks boring as hell. It looks beautiful, but boring as hell. So now we fast forward later in the evening to dinner. So before the ladies go to dinner, we have Quad and Jackie stopping over by Simone's, and they basically filling her in on the tea on Contessa's marriage and what she told them. Side note, I hate Simone's dress. I hate it. She may need to consider getting Anila to style her. And while this is happening, we go to Contessa's room and she's on FaceTime with her husband and her baby kids. And one of the kids say, Daddy has a girlfriend. We're gonna call Daddy's second girlfriend. Which one? Something along the lines of that. And Contessa does not think it's funny and she's wondering why Scott is encouraging it. Now, I'm kind of surprised that he's just laughing as she's saying it. See, this is what I mean. Like, something just don't seem right about this plot line. So we get back to Jackie, Simone, and Quad, and they're just thinking of a way of how they can help Contessa. Because, as we've seen in last season, it's the group that has actually saved marriages. I think they saved Jackie's marriage. I think they saved Simone's marriage. Couldn't save Quad's, but, yeah, 2 out of 3 is great. Okay, so their idea is to invite all the men after all. Because I was wondering in the last episode, we only have 2 episodes left, and they're going on this final trip, so they're not going to have the men come too? Because they normally do couples trips. Maybe it'll make it more interesting because this episode, it ain't it. So the ladies are headed to dinner, and it looks like they have to drive themselves there in these little mini hotel carts. I thought they usually do it for you, but yeah. Ooh, y'all, this is a Best Fiends episode. Like, we are 46 minutes in. They ain't talking about nothing. I'm not even sure why I said nothing like that, but it's gonna be a short review. So Heavenly is actually being nice to Toya at dinner. She's saying they had a great conversation, and she's saying if they can argue in front of the group, she can give a compliment in front of the group. And Toya is very shocked by Heavenly's niceness, and so am I. So now they have an idea to play a messy ass game. The game is they want all the ladies to write a rumor about someone that you heard and fold it up, and they're going to read it in front of the table. I'm guessing they're going to try to confirm or deny the rumor. Like, it sounds like it could be messy. The first one is, rumor has it that Toya is bisexual. And production goes back 5 years to show Toya telling Andy that she's bisexual for her husband. I'm guessing she's saying she's had another woman into the bedroom with them. And Heavenly asked her, would you have sex with a woman now? And Toya's like, well, Jada Pinkett. So then the conversation turns into, what woman would you shag if you would sleep with another woman? Child, we have Contessa like naming off a list. Like it'll be Sierra, it'll be Beyonce, it'll be Rihanna. Something tells me that, yeah. And they still have Contessa going down the line with women she would shag. I can only imagine what Alexander Rogers is saying during this segment. So then we find out that Toya and Quad have actually kissed before. And then we have production rewinding to an iconic moment where Lisa threw water in Quad's face. Your lesbian relationship, bitch! Oh, such an iconic moment. Wow, so the next one is very, very messy. I'm thinking Toya wrote this one, but it says, rumor has it that Anila does not know how to budget. Wow. Now, Anila immediately thinks Toya wrote it, but Toya said it wasn't her. It was probably Heavenly or Simone. So the next rumor has it that Carrie and Lisa stole $400 from Anila. Now, I'm not sure if I could see Carrie stealing it, but I can definitely see Lisa stealing money from someone on the cast. They're getting a kick out of it, though. But are the viewers getting a kick out of watching this? I'm not sure. Wow, so I'm guessing this wasn't a joke, but Anila really does think that either Lisa or Carrie stole the money from her. And Lisa is definitely bothered by it. And now it's turned into an argument. Now it's Anila versus Lisa. I mean, that is kind of a big deal, and you're bringing up in front of the group as well as the camera. Oh man, this is supposed to be a fun game. They turned it into something serious. Now it's Anila versus Lisa. And they started out cool too. So not only does she accuse her of stealing $400 from her, she then brings up that she didn't get payment for the story she did of rocking Lisa Nicole's fashions on her Instagram. Lisa, we actually catch her in a lie. She said there was no payment discussed, but they showed when she was back at Lisa's place and they were discussing rates. And you have Lisa saying, done. Lisa does not have a good track record of paying people. Like, she is low-key a scammer. Wow, they are really going back and forth. All the other ladies on the table are just like, just looking at each other, waiting for them to finish. And by the end of the argument, Lisa just tells Anila, send the fucking invoice. And Anila's like, okay, all right, I will send you the invoice. I think she could have brought this up between the two of them, but I'm guessing she wanted to embarrass her into paying her, and it worked. So after that, you have Carrie asking Anila, well, do you want to talk about your issues with Toya? And she definitely doesn't, but this group is going to do it anyway for her. So they're talking about their issues, and classic Toya, she's not taking accountability for anything that she said about Anila. She's even saying that she needs a break from Anila. And Anila's like, hold the fuck up. You're the one that came from me. It should be sorry, Anila. And then Toya's just looking around at the table. Toya really does not give a fuck about Anila anymore. Oh, so apparently Jackie is tired. She just stands up and says, you know what? We're not going to finish this tonight. I'm ready to go. Okay, Jackie, executive producer. Fine. Wow, yes, Simone, your wig, oh my God, tatter. I'm not sure if it was the humidity, but oh my God. I just noticed this. Wow, her wig looks crazy. So yeah, they get up from the dinner table with nothing resolved. And that's the end of the episode. And next week, I'm guessing, is the season finale. And apparently next week, they're only inviting some of the men to the trip. They're inviting Contessa's husband, as well as Jackie's and Simone. But yes, that was the episode, y'all. It was kind of a snoozer. I did not enjoy it. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And I promise I will have that Beverly Hills Housewives review on time. I'm sorry. Anyway, bye.